there were some really good matches on the WrestleCon Super Show. There always are. And there were some absolute stinkers. And that made it good because they weren't bad because they were boring. They were bad because they were legendarily bad decisions had been made. And that was great.
Neither of the Japanese stars on this card did very well out of all of this.
I disagree because the next match, Butterbean taking on Minoru Suzuki with a special enforcer, Dan Severn. The stepdad you might not want, but the stepdad you need.
He will allow you to stay in his rumpus room for one night, but only one night.
You have put your mother to hell and back. I see her cry every night. Well, you have got to shape up or ship out.
Good old Dan. He looks like such a lovely dad, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? He's also, you'd feel very safe with him, wouldn't you? You'd be on a train, there'd be some lads having a rumpus with cans of Stella, and you'd just be like, any minute now, Daddy's going to get up and he's going to go, fellas, I'd appreciate it if you could moderate the language. And they're going to go, well, you go fuck about it, Frosty the Snowman. And you just cracks his neck from side to side. And you would just begin moving the stuff off your table because you didn't want the blood to go on it. You know, oh, so safe. Pete, this was a great match for us. This was... I mean, as bad as it could have gone for either man, really. Butterbean, about like last year at WrestleCon, he was in a wheelchair.
He's in a wheelchair. I think he was in a wheelchair like 2 months ago.
And I think on Twitter he was like, you know, here I am walking with crutches, and everyone was going, it's I think there was a clip of him like standing up.
Yeah.
And people
DDP,
were like,
was
can
making
you
him
believe
stand
it?
up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's here now, and he was coming to the ring.
He's got his big shorts on.
He looked like Preston from Jackass. He still looks like Butterbeanie.
Yeah.
He's put on a bit of the, I was going to say timber. It's not really timber, is it? But more of the jam.
Tofu dregs. Those buildings are making China.
And out he came for a sort of match with rounds, and Minoru Suzuki out came one of the all-time greats, and his legitimate background in pancrase and things like that. They had an all-time stinker of a match. I mean, absolutely.
So many whiffy titty punches on Butterbean.
It was.
He's got 2 lovely little flaps of tit.
Yep.
And when he's going for it, Suzuki, and they didn't really go for it at any point. It was just a lot of like sort of whiffy shots.
Yeah.
That weren't really connecting. He did occasionally catch a tit, and that was worth the fee alone.
It was a little bit like when someone flicks out a serviette in a restaurant, and it had a look at that. I mean, a poor old Suzuki, he would take down Butterbean, and Butterbean would then just not be able to do anything. And it was, if you were being really generous, you'd say what this was a slight homage to the classic sort of MMA bout between Inoki and Muhammad Ali, where neither man, a boxer versus a wrestler, and nothing happened and everyone hated it. It's one of the most boring things you'll ever sit through. They did this short, but it was impossibly hard work, and really early on the crowd turned on it. There was one good thing where it was as bad as it got, and someone just did a lone chant of "Fight forever," which I did enjoy. But I mean, it just degenerated very, very quickly. They went outside to the ring, and there seemed to be, we couldn't see it quite from our vantage point, but there seemed to be a moment where Suzuki, obviously displeased, did something.
He did look a bit annoyed, didn't he?
To make it clear to Butterbean, and then they were pulling Butterbean back, and he almost fell over again. And it was, Suzuki got back in that ring, there were boos, and Suzuki just faced the crowd and stuck his tongue out and did thumbs down like that. That was awful.
That went past, because they knew it wasn't going to be anything really.
Yeah.
But I think even it shocked Suzuki. As
you would
really
think, I'm Minoru Suzuki, I can get something out of this. I know how this works. But he just couldn't. I mean, I did think it would have been funny. They had a double count out. They both got out of the ring. But I did think after you saw the sort of reaction from the crowd, it would have been great if they'd stuck that on Bloodsport as well. And they'd just done an immediate rematch. I mean, it was appalling. I really, really felt for Suzuki there. The problem with that is it doesn't help Suzuki's legacy, really. Yeah. He should be coming out having rare matches that are playing to his strengths and putting him in these sort of, freak show matches. It just made him look bad as well. There'll be people who've never seen Suzuki before, and they will just go, "Oh, that guy was shit," and that was that's heartbreaking. The match after was Mascara Dorado taking on Ninja Mack as well.
That was great.
Your first little look at Ninja Mack.
Ninja Mack's great, and not Japanese.
No, not Japanese, and not Mexican.
Not Mexican.
He's got a gimmick that everyone thought was pathetic, where he goes, "I'm Ninja Mack, I'm a ninja," and it's funnier now because in recent years he's put on a little bit more timber as well. And he comes out.
He can still do backflips and stuff,
My
can't he?
God, that when he did that series of backflips to the outside,
Yeah, wow.
you turned to me and you were just like, I've never seen anything so crisp. It was so
smooth.
perfect. And again, another really, really good fun match. There was a Hurricanrana down some stairs as well, which I like it when you see two guys who are just like, this is the time to do it.
Yeah,
in front of a
I think we
WrestleMania
spoke
crowd.
about it, the separation between like crowd and performer. They sort of blurred the line a bit there, which I think really added to it. 'Cause
Yeah.
It's quite a formal theatre setting, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of think you'd see like a crap Vegas magician.
It was
Who's not quite residency setting.
I mean, just, at that point you were like, oh, this is absolutely flying. There you get some wobbles coming up. So there was one of the great matches coming up next, Pete.
Yes. Is it? Now.
Yeah, Mickie James
Yes.
versus Makiito. I was oddly, when this was announced, I was really like, I don't know what it is about this. I'm going to really enjoy this match. Match is strong. They did the match. It was sort of going okay, and Mickie James then stopped the match to get the microphone, and she did a big thing saying, Dave Meltzer has always ignored me. Mackie, you're probably here thinking, he's going to review this favourably. He's never reviewed you favourably. And she was like, so we're going to have a sing-off instead.
I know a lot of people came to Vegas to see some wrestling. And we got a lot of guys and gals in the back, Maki, who are out here trying to get their 5-star notice. But I'll tell you what, Meltzer ain't never put me over, honey, and he ain't gonna do it tonight either, because I tell you what I do. I entertain.
There is something I do not like. The crowd began chanting Meltzer sucks. And some of them really fucking meant it. I looked round. There's one guy doing it like you'd go, die, Hitler. He was screaming Meltzer sucks.
Meltzer sucks! 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 Meltzer sucks!
I do not like this
new kind of
thing of just Meltzer is, he's the worst. He's the worst. Yes, he wrote down 40 years of wrestling history, and he was interested in the backstage and gave us all this information that otherwise
that you wouldn't have.
And modern wrestling would have no accountability or history other than the WWE sanctioned version if it wasn't for Dave Meltzer. And I don't know what the hatred is about. I can't work out whether it's because he's a bit weird on Twitter, but you get wrestlers
Is that Bogle needed with that British wrestling?
Yes. You get wrestlers now who are basically getting the crowd to cheer them by going, Dave Meltzer doesn't think I'm very good. I mean, are we really going, no, Meltzer is wrong about Mickie James?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very much this kind of quite anti-academic motion that everyone. I think we've had enough of experts, basically,
isn't it?
Kind of vibe from wrestlers whose careers aren't really going anywhere. They're sort of jumping on that. The fans have gotten hold of it as well. And it's just a lot of like the old sort of 90s wrestlers have a real problem with him, and the people who sort of ran WCW back in the day.
People get pissed off, I think, because he knows a lot about wrestling, and they want to go. If I say you're worthless, that means I know more.
Yeah.
I will consume all of your knowledge and soul. And I just can't understand it. You might sort of go, he's strange. I don't like the way he delivers stuff. His podcasts, are weird and everything. But he is such a towering figure in professional wrestling that when you do get wrestlers just going, isn't he the fucking crap? And the fans agreeing. If you're going to pick on someone, just go, Disco Inferno said I was shit. And everyone can then get behind that and go, yeah, this is fine.
It's the downturn in AEW as well has kind of impacted him a little bit. Probably.
Yeah, true. And they end up doing a singing competition as well.
Oh my god! So they're doing. Mickie James isn't really doing anything, and it's just a bit spotty and bitty.
Yeah,
not even spotty, just bitty. And then in the middle, Mickie James decides that we're all going to have a sing off.
Yeah,
and it's just
so Mackie does a Japanese pop song, which I think was supposed to get booed because she was singing in Japanese, and we don't know what that is. So we go, I fear it. I'm scared of it. I'm going to boo it. And then Mickie came out and did a song. She forgot the lyrics because there was obviously a rhyme, but the last two lines of the song, she sort of had to giggle and just say, your butt.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
Yeah. She'd written a bit of dissing to Makiito and she just forgot it.
Hey, can't you see? Maki. I came all the way to Vegas to kick your ass, Maki.
Oh.
Hey, y'all gonna mop the floor with their stupid little pigtails and that little butt. I don't know. 'Cause I'm hardcore country, backwoods, or uptown hardcore country.
The rhyme did definitely rhyme with whore, and you could have gone with that. Then it would have also worked because she attacked her.
Yeah.
And the idea was she was going to be the bad.
Yes.
The baddie. Again, the modern wrestling fans, they watched that. They went, boo. And then moments later, they're chanting, Mickey, Mickey James. What is the point of doing anything in a ring if the fans just don't care? You know, can fans start caring, please? I know it's the wrong match to use to say get invested in. And Mickie James won, and everybody cheered. And I did look at that, and I did think, don't think that was great for Makiito.
No.
The next match was an unannounced appearance. It was Matt Riddle taking on Matt Mako.
Was it unannounced because he wasn't, because he's quite divisive?
I think they were doing him as a sort of surprise, and it was a big pop. And this really crystallized something that was really apparent in Bloodsport, is the power of the recent WWE.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're Mascara, Dorado or Ninja Mack or any of the Lucha performers, you weren't in WWE. And when someone who was in WWE comes out, the fans go, oh my God, they've got an actual wrestler.
Yeah.
A proper wrestler. You know, neither of us are the hugest Matt Riddle fans.
No.
I think he's I find him sinister. I find him I get similar vibes that I get off men who have later proved to be I get that vibe off him. And the crowd just loved him. They loved him so much. There was a lot of, in this match, the crowd picking up the fact that both of them were called Matt.
Yes.
And
one person doing a joke and then others picking it up and not just like running with it, but just doing the same joke over and over again.
That's it. So the crowd began chanting, Matt rules. And then the others would go, Matt sucks, Matt rules, Matt sucks.
The joke established, well done, you've done
it. And they looked at each other and Matt Riddle went, who do they mean? That's kind of what it's about. And they would have that. There was a guy when they started that, there was the thing, and he was sitting a couple of seats away from me, and they were doing Matt rules, Matt sucks, Matt rules, and there was a big laugh from the crowd.
Yeah,
and the guy
we'd all
next
got
to
the
me,
joke. We'd all got the joke.
He did a little laugh piggyback. Can't stand people who do the laugh piggyback. There's a big joke, and they go, if I say something, it's like I'm going to steal a bit of the laugh.
Yeah.
So,
you're danhausening the show.
Yes, he said,
come in last, get the title.
Matt rules, Matt sucks, Matt rules, Matt sucks, and he said very loudly, which Matt are we talking about? That's a fucking joke, isn't it, mate? That's the fucking joke.
That's what they're doing.
They had lots of bits where Riddle would be in a submission thing and they'd shout, please don't Matt, please don't Matt. When they counted the 3 count on Matt Mako, they went, Matt. And I did think, it's good, but I wish it was about someone I liked. I would have enjoyed that. The 4 guys who hated Danhausen, they loved Matt Riddle.
And we knew there were a problem.
Could have told you the moment they booed Danhausen, they'd love Matt Riddle. Man. And that, my friends, is WWE World. Was it fun? No, it wasn't. It was awful, Peter.
It was weird.
I hated it.
Queuing for the chance to look at something you might buy seems very strange.
It doesn't.
And again, I hate to labour the point, Funkos. Yeah, I don't want to die. I don't think any wrestler should die, but I would say that British Bulldog, he didn't get to see his Funko Pop, and I think you've got to be happy with that.
He was lucky. He escaped.